Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Can't Kick the Habit podcast, where in today's episode, I'm going to be giving you my week 14 picks for the 2022-2023 NFL season, which currently I'm at 63% correct picks. So I'm going to take that because the season is crazy and nobody knows anything. And yeah, so I'm going to give you my picks this week. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Hit the notification bell and give me your picks in the comments below. What you agree with? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? All that good stuff. This Thursday night, so tomorrow night, is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Rams. A primetime game nobody wishes to see. The Rams are totally injured. They have no weapons, or they have nobody right now. But the Raiders are slowly coming around. They've won 3 in a row, 2 against 2 division opponents. Just based on how banged up the Rams are and that they just picked up Baker Mayfield off of waivers, I'm going to give it to the Raiders. I know they're going into LA, but the Rams just look awful this season, and Stafford's out, Kupp's out. They have no run game, so I'm going to give it to the Raiders, who are humming right now. The New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. Mike White season came to a breaching halt against the Minnesota Vikings. They could not pull off the comeback. And the Bills, that game was the game they've been waiting for all season, scoring a touchdown on 8 consecutive drives. That's the team that everybody thought the Buffalo Bills were and are this season. So I think it'll be a close game. I don't think the Jets will win again against the Buffalo Bills. It's hard to beat that good of a team twice. But I'm going to pick the Bills. Excuse me, but I'm going to pick the Bills. Jets they have a really good defense, but is Mike White the guy? Don't know. Breece Hall is still injured. Their running game is still questionable, so I'm going to give the major edge to the Bills. Bills win this game. Browns, Bengals. Deshaun Watson looked horrific in his first game back, only throwing for 100-plus yards and an interception. The only reason they won that game is because their defense had 3 defensive touchdowns. And the Bengals pull off the upset of the century, of the year, beating the Kansas City Chiefs in Cincy. But that is the 3rd time in a row that Joe Burrow has beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes loses his first game in November and December. And it is to Joe Shiesty and the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think Deshaun Watson makes his presence known just quite yet. He's been out of the league for pretty much 2 full seasons at this point. And he's got to get back into the swing of things. I don't even know if he makes his presence known. Probably at the very end of the season, we'll be like, oh, there's the Deshaun Watson of the past. But he doesn't. It's not enough for him and the Browns to sneak out a win against the Bengals. I'm taking Cincy over the Browns. The Houston Texans versus the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, do I really have to say anything here? If the Texans win, it'll be the greatest win in the history of the entire world because they are a trash team, and the Dallas Cowboys are humming right now. So I'm going to pick the Cowboys. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Detroit Lions. I think this will be a close game because the Detroit Lions are finally coming around, finally putting ends to games where they should win, finally capitalizing comebacks. And the Minnesota Vikings, I know they keep winning these games. They keep winning these close games. They let teams hang around, and sooner or later, that's going to bite you in the butt. However, I am gonna take the Vikings. I think they just have a better offense and a better defense than the Lions. The Lions are getting there though, but I'm gonna take the Vikings over the Lions. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans getting blown out in their game against who'd they even play? And I can't even remember, but I remember they just got blown out. And the Jaguars, they lose another game as well. So the Jaguars are kind of an iffy team. Tennessee Titans have the better record, but I think their record is inflated. They're not as good as they seem. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars in this AFC South matchup just because I don't think the Titans are as good as their record is. And I think the Jaguars are playing a little bit lower than what their record is. So I'm going to take the Jaguars in this game over the Tennessee Titans. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Giants. The Giants kind of showing their colors these past weeks, and the Eagles still rolling with that 11-1 record. Saquon Daniel Jones does not look like the guy to me for the Giants for the foreseeable future. I think Philly gets this one done. Jalen Hurts looks unstoppable. AJ Brown looks unstoppable. That run game is massive. Their defense is good. They look like a good, solid team rolling into November and December, or I should say December, because November's over. But I'm going to take the Eagles over the Giants. They get it done in Week 14. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar Jackson probably won't play, so that brings their odds down significantly, because any team that barely wins against my Denver Broncos deserves to be put a few rungs down on the ladder. So, Ravens versus the Steelers. Ravens are looking to keep the lead in their division. Cincy slowly creeping up, and Pittsburgh is just looking to find something, some sort of spark this season. They're 5-7. Mike Tomlin's looking to keep his streak alive of keeping the Steelers in the win column, or I should say, keeping the record of having a winning season. I think he's had like 20 seasons or something. It's something ridiculous, but I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Tyler Huntley for the Ravens just doesn't get enough going for them. And I think the Steelers with Najee Harris coming around and that defense, if T.J. Watt's back. But I'm going to take the Steelers over the Ravens in Week 14. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. We were so close. We were so close to beating a Tyler Huntley-led Baltimore Ravens. And yet, in the biggest moment when we needed our defense to step up the most, they couldn't do it. So what that tells me is that our team can not step up in their biggest moments. And guess what? This is a big moment against the Kansas City Chiefs. Should be no problem for the Chiefs. They just have the way better team. Patrick Mahomes is amazing. Travis Kelce is amazing. That defense, even though it's not as amazing as it was, it's still pretty darn good. So in that case, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos. That's right. We pull off the upset. We're going to score 2, not 1, not 2, but maybe 1 touchdown, okay? Maybe 1, hopefully 1. Hopefully we win like 10-3 or something. Just, actually, we're going to score 3 touchdowns. You know what? Screw it. We're scoring 5 touchdowns. Wilson's thrown for 4. Punt return touchdown. We're going to run for 200 yards and destroy the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm calling it right here. You heard it right now. Remember this podcast episode where the Denver Broncos absolutely demolished the Chiefs. You listen to it now. Next game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Niners. I believe in Brock Purdy. I believe in him. I think he will lead the Niners to a win in this one. The Buccaneers look trash for 55 minutes. Or I should say Tom Brady looked horrible for 55 minutes and then just miraculously came back against the Saints. But it was the Saints and it was Andy Dalton, so don't give him too much credit. I know it was a huge comeback, but I mean, you're playing like the 4-8 Saints and Andy Dalton, and you need to come back to win. Yeah, the Niners' defense is 10 times better than the Saints' defense, and I think their offense does just enough to beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. However, the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs and host a playoff game, which is insane because they're not a good team. But I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers. The Carolina Panthers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Again, do I have to say anything? I'm taking the Seahawks. They've been rolling this season. Geno Smith looks amazing. And the Panthers are just not a good team. They lost Baker Mayfield. I know Sam Darnold's been playing decently, but they're totally in a rebuild mode. Their coach was fired this year. They're just totally going to have to rebuild, take inventory of what they have moving forward, and restructure everything because their team is not good. But I am going to take the Seattle Seahawks to win this game at home. The Miami Dolphins versus the Los Angeles Chargers. the Dolphins coming off an embarrassing loss against the 49ers, where their coach, Mike McDaniels, did not have a great game calling plays, and Tua did not have a great game statistically, and giving up big plays and small plays, and giving up turnovers and first downs and third downs and whatnot. And the Chargers, I don't know what to make of the Chargers because they just they just lost to the Raiders, and I know the Raiders have been rolling, but like you lost to the Raiders, you barely beat the Cardinals, you almost beat the Chiefs twice. You lose to the Niners. I mean, I don't know really what to make of this team besides their Brandon Staley's got to go. He's just not a great coach. They should be a way better team than 6-6. But I am going to take the Miami Dolphins. I do think they get it done. They turn it around. That's a team I can believe in after a terrible loss. That's a team I believe can turn it around quickly with the talent and the firepower that they have. The Chargers are just not a team I can believe in right now. They just win games, by bits and pieces, and they lose games by large amounts, and I just don't know what to make of them. Is Justin Herbert the guy? Yes. Is Brandon Staley the guy? No. I'm taking the Dolphins over the Chargers for Sunday night, which was supposed to be the Chiefs-Broncos game, if I'm not mistaken, but it got subbed out because the Broncos are so unbelievably bad that we got subbed out. Monday night, the New England Patriots versus the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to take the Patriots because I don't believe in Kyler Murray in this Cardinals offense, and I don't believe in Cliff Kingsbury, but I have more trust in Bill Belichick to get it done and Mac Jones than the poopy Cardinals. So I'm taking the Patriots over the Cardinals for Monday night. Anyways, guys, those are my picks for Week 14 of the NFL season. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my picks, disagree with my picks, and I'll be sure to pump out more content for you guys in the near future. Take care.